Welcome to Voodoo Whiskey Gaming, and this is my late review of Wolfenstein the New Colossus, or Wolfenstein II, whatever you feel like calling it. I played it on the PS4, it's also available on the Xbox One and PC. Wolfenstein the New Colossus picks up right after the New Order ends, and you're still fighting the Nazis in a world run by Nazis. At the beginning of this game, BJ Blazkowicz is, well, he's fucked. He is just screwed, he's dying, and the only thing holding him together is that super suit from the end of the first game. No, I don't really consider it a spoiler. That having been said, your goal is to start a revolution in America, which it's America with a K, the German style America, because it's ruled by the Nazis as well. I've got to say, I'm really impressed with what they've done with the Wolfenstein games. The story in the last game was excellent, the story in this game is excellent, and they do some interesting things, including some backstory to BJ. You get to see some of his childhood, his relationship to his mother, father, friends, and that's pretty interesting because you get to see how he became who he is to an extent. One thing, and I'm not going to say it's a knock against this game, it's just different from the first, is this game has some wackier moments. It definitely has more of a sense of humor. At times. Not all the time, but at times. As for the audio in this game is fantastic. The music really gets you in the mood for what's going on. The sound effects for the guns, the explosions, everything that's going on, they help absorb you in it. The voiceover work is really good. It's a little cheesy at times, but not necessarily in a bad way. Maybe that's just the dialogue, but either way, it's still enjoyable. I really liked it a lot. Now let's get into the gameplay, and Wolfenstein 2 does what the first Wolfenstein did in that it gives you the option of playing stealthy or just being balls to the wall, guns a-blazing. I was predominantly balls to the wall, guns blazing, but not necessarily by choice. I feel like the stealth mechanics in this game were not as good as in the first game. I felt like I was getting spotted way more easily. I found it very difficult to perform stealth takedowns, which that was honestly disappointing to me because that's predominantly how I played the first game. I played in a manner of sneak around but be ready for when shit hits the fan. But in this game that didn't really work, so I ended up predominantly just playing guns a-blazing, a gun in each hand, you know, just going nuts. And I've got to say that was disappointing to me that I didn't feel the stealth was working as well, and I've got to address one other thing. I do kind of consider it a cardinal sin of gaming, especially in first-person shooters, not knowing how much damage you're taking. I feel like Wolfenstein does not do a good job of letting you know how much damage you're taking, so I tended to die a lot. Because I'd be going through guns blazing thinking I'm doing just fine, then next thing you know, boom, I drop dead. Because you don't get great sense of where you're getting hit from, where the damage is coming from, how much damage you're taking, if you're taking damage at all. So that is really the only major knock I have against this game, is that I died a lot because I don't feel like I knew where the damage was coming from or how often, when basically I was taking damage. One thing they did add to this game is there's kind of a hub world with their own little mini missions. There's also side missions throughout the game, as well as side missions in that little hub area. So that's fun, and it's a nice little addition. And some of those missions can be beneficial to you. They can help upgrade some of your stuff. So that is very useful. And the upgrades have made a return from the first game, like, oh, you stealth killed blank number of Nazis, sneaking becomes easier, you dual wield guns a lot, you become more accurate, blah blah blah. I know I just said blah blah blah, but I do like that they do that. I like games that the more you use skills, the more those level up. As for the controls, to put it simply, Wolfenstein is among those games where it's just an example of how first-person shooting should be done. The controls are completely on point, they're incredibly responsive. I never ran into a time where I felt that I got screwed over by poor controls. I will say the way you decide your weapons, maybe not the most intuitive or best mapped out thing, but it's not like it ruins the game. It doesn't actually ruin anything. It just could be slightly better, but I do understand that with the ability to dual wield, it's an added level of complexity. Lastly, the the graphics. I think it's a very good looking game. There were a couple of times where I could have been a little more impressed with the detail in some of the characters, whereas some of the other characters have fantastic detail. They're wonderful looking characters. I also like that each of the characters has their own look. They're very unique, and it shows in their personality as well as in their design. To put it simply, if you're looking for a great first-person shooter, Wolfenstein. It's fully recommended by me, full price, all that jazz. I had a lot of fun playing this. I really enjoy it. I love what they're doing with the franchise. Okay, so in the comments below, why don't you let me know what's the first Wolfenstein you ever played? I played the original. And as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. And if you like what I'm doing in general, share, subscribe. Have a good one.